Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're kicking things off not with some, huge historical event, but actually at a 21st birthday brunch, Stanford campus. Seems normal enough, right?
Right, until it really, really isn't.
Exactly. Things take a sharp left turn into some pretty intense personal confessions almost immediately. Can you set that scene up for us?
Yeah, absolutely. It basically detonates when Penelope Ross, she's the diving captain, just announces to, well, the entire diving team roster, something like the 10th circle of hell. You find the love of your life, but the sex is intensely meh.
Wow. Okay. That's quite the brunch conversation starter.
Tell me about it.
So what does that kind of like raw honesty right out of the gate tell us about the world Ali Hazelwood is building in Check and Mate and, the deep dive we're about to jump into here?
Well, that honesty, that abruptness is really our way into Ali Hazelwood's novel, Check and Mate. And in this deep dive, we're really going deep into the lives of these characters.
Yeah.
We've got Scarlett Vandermeer, she's a competitive diver, and Lucas Blomqvist, who's this Olympic swimmer.
Okay.
And our goal here, really our mission, is to unpack how relationships, personal growth, finding yourself, how all that can happen in really unexpected ways, even when you're surrounded by all this pressure, elite sports, tough academics at Stanford.
Yeah, the pressure seems immense.
It is. So, get ready to uncover some pretty surprising truths hidden in these pages.
All right, let's start with Scarlett's world then. Scarlett Vandermeer, she's 21, a Stanford junior, used to be a junior Olympian diver, and she sounds incredibly driven, like she's got this whole 15-year plan mapped out.
Oh, meticulously. It includes, winning an NCAA title, that's the big college championship, then it's med school, specializing in orthopedics, marriage, and then she actually calls it compulsory happiness.
Compulsory happiness. Wow. That phrasing alone just screams pressure, doesn't it?
It really does.
So what are the pressures, both internal and, external, that start to kind of destabilize this super carefully built life she has planned?
Well, academically, she's actually struggling. She says her GPA quakes in its boots. She finds psychology too vague, German's tough, even English composition trips her up.
Huh. So not everything fits neatly into the plan.
Not at all. And it shows how even, the most detailed plans can hit these unexpected roadblocks, right? Intellectual ones in this case.
And it's not just the books, is it? Her diving is also a major source of stress.
Exactly. Her coach, Seema, is always talking about her athletic potential, but also raises issues because Scarlett keeps changing her dives last minute.
Right.
So you've got this constant external pressure from the plan, from the coach. And it kind of makes you think, maybe this relentless chase for external validation, it's maybe masking some deeper anxieties, preventing her from figuring out what she actually wants.
That makes a lot of sense. And we find out pretty early on that Scarlett's struggles aren't just about, right now. She's in therapy, right? With Sam at counseling services.
Yeah, and she's done CBT before. It's a cognitive behavioral therapy, the structured approach to changing thought patterns. She did it for family stuff, specifically her relationship with her dad.
Which she kind of dismisses, says it's solved.
Right. She says it's solved. But you get the feeling Sam sees right through that, and it connects to this really significant physical injury she had.
Ah, yeah, the diving injury.
A labral tear in her shoulder, concussion, some lung issues too, and this physical trauma, it's all tangled up with this psychological block. She can't do inward dives anymore.
Which are crucial for a diver at her level.
Totally. And Sam asks this killer question. If you're not afraid of getting hurt, what are you afraid of? Pushing her past towards the emotional fear.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit to another high-stakes relationship. Penelope Ross and Lucas Blomqvist. They're set up as this Stanford power couple, dating forever, almost like this diplomatic arrangement.
Yeah, betrothed at birth for U.S.-Sweden relations practically. Very golden couple vibes.
So what's the spark that kind of ignites the change in their relationship and sets the whole story off in this unexpected direction?
Well, it comes back to that brunch. Penelope's intensely sex comment. But later, she talks to Lucas privately, and she basically says she wants to flirt freely, be hit on, maybe sleep with other people.
Wow. Just lays it out there.
Completely lays it out there. Super candid, especially given how long they've been together. But it really shows the kind of raw honesty the book isn't afraid to explore.
For sure. And interestingly, that conversation also brings up BDSM.
Right, which for context, that's bondage, discipline, sadism, masochism, basically consensual practices exploring power dynamics.
And Penelope is not a fan, calls it paternalistic bullshit, hates being told what to do, especially with her coach already doing that.
Hmm. But Lucas, it seems, does have an interest. But here's the key thing. The moment Penn said she was uncomfortable, he dropped it. Completely stopped.
That's actually really important character detail, isn't it?
It's huge. It tells you a lot about his respect for boundaries. Like,
Yeah.
genuine respect means putting your partner's comfort first, even if your own preferences differ. That defines him early on.
Okay, and then we get to Coach Seema's cookout, the infamous cookout suggestion.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Penelope's pretty drunk, calls herself a Tinder algorithm, and just suggests Lucas and Scarlett should fuck each other.
Mortifying. For Scarlett, at least. How does Lucas even react to that?
Surprisingly, he doesn't shut it down immediately. He actually looks at Scarlett, like really looks at her with this cold, evaluating gaze. And he asks Penn if she seriously expects them to break up, and then, like, a week later, he should take dating recommendations from her.
So he engages with the idea, almost?
Yeah, in this weird assessing way. It's like instead of killing the conversation, it kind of cracks open a door
Yeah.
for something between him and Scarlett. Like he's seeing her differently all of a sudden.
So, okay, despite that absolutely wild setup, Scarlett and Lucas somehow managed to build this connection, and it seems rooted in, well, vulnerability. How do they get past that cookout moment?
Well, it actually starts almost immediately after. Lucas recognizes her, calls her Scarlett, not Vandy. Nobody calls her Scarlett.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and he's perceptive. He just knows she's easily spooked, that men make you nervous. That early insight is crucial. He sees past the surface, you know?
That recognition seems like a powerful starting point for genuine connection.
Definitely. And it leads into this incredibly intimate conversation they have about BDSM preferences, using these really specific lists.
All right, the lists. Scarlett talks about enjoying control and discipline from someone she trusts. What's that really about for her?
It's less about just sex and more about quieting her own head. She says it relieves her overthinking, the constant burden of wondering whether I'm doing it right. Not just in sex, but like being a human.
That's incredibly vulnerable. And Lucas...
His list, she finds out, is basically the mirror image of hers. He has dominant preferences that align perfectly. And the fact that they can talk about this stuff, their deepest needs and vulnerabilities, even in an area like BDSM, it shows how radical honesty can build this incredibly strong trust. Much stronger than just, following conventional dating rules.
Yeah, that level of honesty is rare. But their first actual physical encounter, it's not smooth sailing either, is it?
No, not at all. They're in the lab, things start happening, and Lucas pulls back. He says he felt out of control, panicked.
Which could easily derail things.
It could, but what he does next is what matters. He's this really profound apology, emphasizes his commitment to respect, care, and truth.
And that sincerity makes all the difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not just saying sorry, it's showing self-awareness, taking responsibility. He owns his reaction, but immediately recenters her feelings and safety. That commitment to respect, care, and truth, that becomes their foundation. It shows partnership means navigating the awkward bits with honesty.
And their connection keeps growing beyond just the physical stuff, right? How does he keep showing he cares?
Consistently. He's just attentive. He massages her shoulder when it's sore from diving. He runs interference with Coach Seema's wife at the cookout. He notices when she's stressed about the MCATs or her German homework. He actually sees her, the whole person, worries and ambitions included.
That growing trust must be so important for Scarlett, especially as she starts digging deeper into her past in therapy. How do those old wounds, the family stuff, the ex-boyfriend, connect to her diving block?
They're completely intertwined. She finally opens up about her dad, how controlling he was, tracking her, belittling her, controlling money. It wrecked her sense of self-worth. Yeah. And then she connects that to her ex, Josh, the piece of shit ex, as she calls him, who dumped her right before NCAA finals, saying he'd met someone else. Just devastating timing.
Oh, man.
So those two things, the controlling father and the awful breakup, combined with the physical injury,
Yeah.
that's what created the block. Made it impossible for her to trust herself or anyone else enough to do those risky inward dives. It really shows how past trauma can just lodge itself in your present.
What's really striking, though, is that Lucas shares his own story of pressure and finding purpose again.
Yes, exactly. He shares something incredibly vulnerable, too. His mom died when he was 14. He was away at a swim competition.
Oh, wow.
And that just changed everything. Swimming went from his dream to this. Heavy obligation, fueled by guilt that he wasn't there. He actually credits Penelope, ironically, with helping him find the words to step away and actually grieve.
So Penn helped him in that moment.
She did. And he eventually came back to swimming, but on his own terms. He says, because I didn't have to win anymore. I wanted to. And that resonates so strongly with Scarlett's struggle. This idea of doing it for yourself, not for anyone else.
That shared understanding becomes the key, doesn't it? For her breakthrough with the inward dive.
It really does. There's a scene late one night at the pool. Lucas is just there, supporting her quietly, and she decides to try the inward dive.
And what changes in her head? What allows her to do it?
She has this realization. Nothing hangs on this specific dive. It's not about the score or the championship or proving anything to her dad or Josh or Seema. It's just a dive.
She takes the pressure off.
Completely. She disconnects it from all that external expectation, and she nails it. The victory isn't the points, it's the feeling, that odd relief of finally doing it for herself. With Lucas just being that steady presence, it's a beautiful moment of healing, freeing her up.
So, as they both heal and figure things out, their lives start shifting. Team dynamics change, future plans change. How does Penelope react once she sees Scarlett and Lucas are actually together? Especially after that doping test scare she has.
Well, initially Pen is almost smug, like she orchestrated it. But after she gets cleared from that doping scare and sees them genuinely connecting, she flips. Becomes intensely possessive, angry.
And how does Lucas see her reaction?
He's pretty blunt about it. He calls her behavior irrational, says she's lashing out because she lost two of her favorite toys, meaning him, and in a way her control over the situation. It really highlights the difference in their emotional maturity at this point. Pen can't seem to let go.
Yeah, that possessiveness is telling. And meanwhile, both Scarlett and Lucas are starting to redefine themselves outside of just being athletes, aren't they?
They really are. Lucas makes this huge decision to stop competitive swimming after senior year. He wants to go to med school, yes, but crucially, he says he doesn't want swimming to be his identity anymore.
And Scarlett.
She's on a parallel path. She starts talking about diving for the vibes, for her happy place. It's not just about performance metrics anymore, it's about joy. And this shared journey, reclaiming their sports for themselves, it really deepens their bond. They see they can build fulfilling lives beyond what was expected of them.
Okay, let's talk about Lucas coming back from Europe. Scarlett's roommate, Miriam, has that hilarious nickname for him.
The Love Island contestant. Yeah, because he comes back so focused on winning Scarlett over.
And he really pursues her, doesn't he? Gently but persistently. Even when Scarlett tries to push him away because she feels guilty about Pen.
He's incredibly persistent but also respectful, and then he just lays it all out there with these incredibly direct declarations of love.
That line.
Yeah. I love you, I'm in love with you, and you're in love with me. We can say it.
Yeah.
It cuts through everything. All the hesitation, the guilt, the self-doubt.
It's so direct.
It is. He's not just saying how he feels, he's stating a truth about them, daring her to acknowledge it too. It's just powerful, vulnerable communication at its best.
And they decide to make it work, despite the challenges, right? Different schools, maybe different countries eventually.
He's even willing to defer med school if needed. Their commitment isn't based on convenience. It's built on that foundation they establish. Trust, consent, real understanding, those healthy boundaries. It feels like a very modern relationship born from all that messiness and vulnerability.
They're planning for the Olympic trials together, looking towards this shared future.
Exactly. Knowing their connection is about more than just sports or checking boxes on a plan. It really shows how real love can find its footing in the most unexpected, even slightly chaotic circumstances.
So, looking back at this whole deep dive, we've followed Scarlett and Lucas from this intense, high-pressure world of college athletics.
Right, where everything seems to be about performance and plans.
Into this really profound exploration of trust, vulnerability, figuring out who you are, and finding this very unconventional but very real love. It wasn't about Scarlett's 15-year plan working out perfectly.
Not even close. It was about the messy human connections they made when things didn't go according to plan, when they let themselves be vulnerable.
Which brings us to a final thought. In a world that's always telling us to, be on top of shit, have it all figured out, follow the grand plan, what does success or fulfillment really look like?
Maybe. Maybe it's less about the plan and more about allowing yourself to be truly seen and loved for exactly who you are right now, the anxieties, the history, the messy parts and all.
So maybe something for you to think about this week. What are the stories you tell yourself about your own limits, your own desires? What's actually on your list of what you need from connection, from freedom?
And what could happen if you dared to be truly honest about that list? With yourself and maybe with someone else.